How's it going, guys? So I kind of wanted to just do a series called Shane's Psyche, which just like everything about me, I guess I would say. I feel like I've seen a lot of things throughout my life, and I'm only 25. I feel like I've seen a lot of things to talk about, and I could help a lot of people through stuff, I feel like. So I've always wanted to do something like this. I have like all the equipment to do a podcast and stuff like that, but I just never really got into it. So I thought like, hey, this would be a cool idea. More of like a conversation. That's why the vibe is set like this instead of me sitting down at a desk trying to tell you what to do or how to do something. More, I just want to explain my life experience and maybe help somebody out. I do live on a busy street though, so as organic as I want it to be, I might have to cut some areas like right now where it's super loud or a plane is flying by. I'm not sure really what it's picking up and what it's not picking up because I have the little road mic on. So I had to cut right there because I wanted to make sure that the audio was like actually being good. But it sounds like everything is good. It's not picking up that much. So we might be able to keep it organic. I guess I'm gonna start just the beginning of my life until now because I don't know how many people watch this that like actually know about me. I think a lot of people that support me now I've never really told them anything about my life or like, you know, where I've lived or my growing up or anything like that. So I guess we'll just start from how I was born to how I got here, just as a little introduction episode. So this dude's driving by, of course, being hella loud. That's good. So I've been born and raised in Portland my whole life. I stay in Gresham now, but might as well just call it Portland. According to my parents, when I was born, my heart actually stopped beating, so they had to bring me back to life. I had a friend tell me that I guess that makes me a vampire because I was dead and I came back to life. But that's a good way to start out life, you know. Your heart stopped. I don't have any conscious of it, obviously, because I was just born. But according to my parents, my heart stopped. They had to bring me back to life. That was an eventful start to the eventful life that I've had so far. I grew up around 82nd area. I don't know if you're from Portland, you probably know where that is and how bad that is over there. But when I lived there, it wasn't horrible. I went to school out there from kindergarten to about third grade, fourth grade, I believed. And then I moved over to around 170th something. If you're from Portland, you're gonna know these places. If you're not, then you're not gonna know. I went to school there from, I believe, at the very end of fourth grade, because I remember coming to the school and I had a teacher for a little while, and then the school was over and then I started fifth grade. So we'll just say, for this case, fifth grade, I moved over here, started going to school around 170th and wherever the school was. Living over on 82nd, I wasn't really necessarily, I would say, the best kid. I think I got into a lot of trouble. I remember one time I accidentally shot my neighbor in the face right here with a BB gun. So I got in trouble with that. Tried to start fires, had the firemen called a couple times. There's a lot of things going on in that time with us, I would say, as a family. So I think I was just wilding out, and I didn't really have like anything stopping me from wilding out, I guess I would say. So those were definitely some crazy times. I was not a very good kid from kindergarten to, let's say, probably fourth grade. Fifth grade, I met a teacher. His name was funny, Mr. Hancock, but he probably changed my life for the better. That was a crossroads right there, and he made me go down this path instead of going down this path. And I'll never forget him, because one thing that sticks to me to this day is I told him in fifth grade, I told him, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to do what I like. And I remember him telling me, he was going to say, when you get older, he told me, when you get older, that is going to change. Your whole mindset is going to change on that. you're gonna care so much about what people think about you, and you're gonna care, like, you're just gonna care what people think. You're not gonna like what you like anymore. You're gonna try to fit in. And I feel like in 5th grade, hearing that, it just gave me this drive and this motivation to prove him wrong. I was like, you know, you don't know me. You don't know that's how I'm gonna be. You don't know that, like, you just don't know me. So that gave me my motivation throughout my whole life, up until now. I honestly still think about that all the time. I know exactly what he looks like. Like, I remember being in his class and everything, and like, I just remember him telling me, come back to me when you're a senior in high school and still tell me that you don't care what people think about you and blah, 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 stuff like that. And I think that really changed me a lot at that time. And that took me off that path of being a bad kid and changed me to being a better kid. So from, you know, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, all the way through, you know, I had bumpy paths, class clown, being annoying, being dumb, making people laugh, getting sent out into the hallway. But my life could have been a lot worse than what it was. Like, before I met him, my life was going down a really bad path compared to after I met him. Yeah, you have those instances where, you know, you're being a dumb kid and you're having fun, but it was nothing like it was before. So I actually really appreciate Mr. Hancock from the 5th grade just teaching me that lesson and telling me that, because like, that shit really just like changed something up here altogether. And I don't know, I just feel like that was a big changing point in my life. So 5th grade, 6th grade, went to the same school, same middle school, 7th grade, 8th grade. Didn't really have any problems. Played some sports, played football, played basketball, loved football and basketball. Went to high school, same high school in the area or whatever. You know, I just stayed in the same area forever. So freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, everything good. Actually a really good student. I graduated with honors in the whole last semester of senior year. Like, I went to like 3 classes because I needed half a credit. They never told me I could have graduated early. I literally needed half a credit for English my 2nd semester of senior year. So I didn't really get into too much trouble in high school. Stayed good on my grades. I always had above a 3.0. I've just always been good at taking tests, I guess. So yeah, graduated with honors, never really had a problem with high school, but I did make up my mind in high school that I would never go to college. I really do truly hate school more than anything. So when, you know, I was coming to the end of high school, I was like, damn, like, I can't do college. Like, I just don't want to do college. Like, all my friends were gonna go to college, or they're gonna do this or do that. And I'm like, dude, like, that is just something that I don't want to do. So I ended up getting into the construction field, as, you know, most guys are gonna do when they come out of high school. They're gonna either go into construction or be a mechanic or something like that. My uncle got me a job pressure washing trucks, like big dump trucks that carry gravel and dirt and shit like that. So that was my start. I did that. You know, I worked on some of the trucks, sometimes a little bit here and there, drove a forklift, cleaned up the yard, blah, blah, blah. That progressed. I took that. Then I went into construction, which is like, I was a carpenter, a union carpenter. So I was in the apprenticeship for that. I built the big major Amazon warehouse that we have out here in Oregon. It was a 2-year project. That was a big deal. I obviously had odd jobs before that, like working at Papa Murphy's, working at Fred Meyer's. I have a lot of stories from those times when I was younger, but you know, that could be for a different time. This is kind of just my life up till now. So I went into construction, did that for a little while. And then I met a friend at a clothing store called Compound. If you're from Portland, that used to be a really big clothing store. And he actually got me into the fire sprinkler industry, which his dad got him into. And what's funny about that is when I was working construction, I always just seen the city inspectors come and, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. And then they leave. And I'm just like, dude, I'm out here literally breaking my back. Like, I actually messed up my back from construction permanently, and I'm out here breaking my back, and they just come do this really quick, and they're probably making, you know, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money that I'm making. I'm like, that's what I want to do. So as funny as it is, I said I hated college. I would never go to college. I tried to go to college. I took 1 class for 1 week to try to become a city inspector, and man, I sat down in that class for one day and I was like, yeah, I already knew, like, this is not for me. So funny enough, I went back into construction and was doing that for literally maybe a month. And my friend hit me up and he was like, hey, come work with me doing this inspector stuff, you know, inspecting fire sprinkler systems, inspecting this, and, you know, anything to do with fire systems. And I was like, bro, literally get me on that shit. Like, that's what I was trying to do, but not for the city. It's just for, you know, another company. So that's what I ended up getting to. That's my career path, I guess you could say. That's what I do currently, I guess. I was doing that up until, you know, the last month. I decided to take a leap of faith and I'm going into sales now. So hopefully that goes well for me. I feel like that's a good attribute to have later in life. You know, I'm young. I could take a year, 2 years, try to do it. If I fail at it, guess what? I learned that I suck at sales. I know how to do sales now, and I'm only 27. So that's not a bad place to be. And I don't think I could complain about that at all. So definitely gonna try to do that. Sorry, so a plane flew by, so I had to wait a second. But I know a lot of people here are here for my fitness journey. You know, I started out at a little under 300 pounds. I was 295, and that was, I think, March 2018. I have a picture of it. It might have been a little earlier than that. But my whole life, I've really actually been chubby. I remember 5th grade asking a girl, and I said, hey, do you want to go out? And she literally told me that if I was skinnier, that she would go out with me. And I remember her laughing at me because we were in a line of, like, our whole class was in a line, and I asked her because she was like, right, like I was standing right here and she was right here. And I asked her, and yeah, you know, that's some past trauma for being fat. But I was always chubby my whole life, but I think it just, like, it started to spiral out of control when I got into a relationship. I was having 2 dinners. I would have dinner at home. I'd go over to my girlfriend's house and I'd have dinner with her family. And that, like, would happen a lot. I was just over consuming so much food. And I was probably at my skinniest point before I met her, actually. I was probably, I think my driver's license says 165, 6 foot, which is the lowest I've ever been. That's the lowest weight I've ever been, but I was only 6 foot. So now I'm 3 inches taller. So I've probably been around that same body fat percentage. But what I was saying, so I was eating double meals and everything just started to spiral out of control. I did that. Then we broke up. I got in another relationship where we were just eating so much food. I was working at Papa Murphy's and I would bring home these cinnamon wheels and a s'mores wheel and we would just eat it together. We'd eat pizza before it. Like, I was just eating so much food that it just started getting really bad. And once I got out of that relationship where I got really fat, I was like, dude, I am literally a pig. I'm a whale. Like, what did I do to myself? Like, why did I let myself go? So 2018, March 2018, I took a picture in the mirror and I'm pretty sure I was weighing around 285, 290. And of course I go the wrong way and I decide I'm gonna fast. And this is fasting. Like, I didn't know what fasting was. I didn't get into, like, the whole fitness stuff. I seen, you know, the fab diets and everything, and I seen fasting, and I was like, fasting? Okay, you eat on these time frames of 6 hours or 8 hours or whatever. Well, what I would do is I would say, okay, I burn more calories and then I eat less, I'm gonna lose a lot of weight. So what I was doing is every single day, I would wait until 5 p.m. So I would eat one meal at 5 p.m. every single day, and it would be a chicken bowl from Joy Teriyaki. I would eat at 5 p.m., go all night, go to sleep, wake up, work, wait till 5 p.m., eat another chicken bowl. And I did that and did that and did that forever. Yeah, I was losing weight, but in the most unhealthy way possible. That is the worst way that you can lose weight, is starving yourself like that. And it took me a long time actually to get out of that mindset. I was in that cycle of starving and then eating a bunch of food because I was so starving and eating a bunch of food because I was so hungry. And I just did it over and over again from about March 2018 to about right when the pandemic hit, actually. That is when everything started to change for me. So from 2018 to 2020, I'm pretty sure I went from 280 to 230. So I did lose 50 pounds, but not in the healthiest way possible. I could have done it a lot better, and I probably would have lost more weight because I didn't have that time where I'm starving and then I binge and then I starve and then I binge and I just do it over and over again. I probably could have lost more weight. But 2020 comes around, and if you're in the fitness industry and you guys were watching videos at the time, Psyche was a really big person on TikTok and YouTube, and Psyche and Jesse James West, actually, they are both the two people that got me into actually lifting weights. And before I saw them on YouTube, I was just a cardio demon. I would go out and I started running 1 mile, boom, 2 mile, boom, 3 mile. And I remember some days, dude, I would just get in this high where I could run 5. I remember one time I ran 8 miles just jogging. I literally jogged for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just running 8 miles. And then I would come home and I would barely eat any food. I was eating 5 ounces of chicken on lettuce with a little bit of ranch. And then I would eat I just remember I was eating no food and doing 1,100 calories worth of cardio. So, sorry, my mom was pulling up now. All right, so I'm not really sure where I was because my mom cut me off, but I believe that I was at the part talking about Psyche and Jesse James West actually getting me into lifting weights. So like I said before, 2018, 2020, cardio demon, fasting, unhealthy, losing weight. So 2020 comes around, I find out about Jesse, and then I find out about Psyche through Jesse James West. And this is when I actually started lifting weights. So it has been about, I want to say 2.5, 3 years from now, or 3 years that I have been lifting weights. But 2020 came around. I ended up moving out of state, but I got a membership at Anytime Fitness, and I was kind of just fumbling through workouts, to be honest. I had no idea what I was doing. I worked out in, we had a weightlifting class in high school, and I would go there and mess around with my friends and stuff. And I lifted a little bit. I ended up getting to a plate on each side by the time I was a senior. Not that impressive at all, but I did lift a little bit, and I paid attention sometimes. But other than that, I had no clue what was going on in the gym. So kind of just fumbling through stuff. Christmas came around, my mom and dad bought me a Jesse James West program to follow an actual workout program. That's when I started taking things a little bit more serious. I had that program, I was taking my pre-workout, I was going at, the same time every day. I was eating a really strict diet, I guess. I wouldn't call it strict, but it was the same thing over and over again. The egg whites, the English muffin. I have an old video showing what I ate in a day back at that time. It's privated right now, but I'll unlock that actually, and I'll leave a link so you guys can just see what I was eating back at that time, which was literally 3 years ago. I have a video of that though. You can go check it out. So I was doing that, and that was helping me actually lose a lot of weight. I got down to one of my lowest points ever. I believe it was 182. I want to say it was 182 was my lowest point at that time. And I looked really skinny, but I had no muscle on my body whatsoever. I was obviously not training right, or I just started training, so I had no muscle. I was just skinny. I just looked like a skinny guy. You wouldn't even think I went to the gym. So I worked out there for a while, came back, and was obviously working out here in Portland. Anytime Fitness, again, same thing, still working out. When I came back though, there was such a shift in the amount of food that I was able to eat just due to where I lived, living in North Dakota. There was almost nothing around us. We had a McDonald's, I believe. I'm pretty sure there was a Chick-fil-A. There was a Culver's, which is a really famous burger place, I believe, in the Midwest. And then there was a Taco Bell and a couple other things. But mainly I would just stick to Chick-fil-A because, that's what's healthy. And they had a Qdoba, which Qdoba is ass compared to Chipotle. I don't want to argue. It is completely ass compared to Chipotle. So I was just eating Chick-fil-A and a lot of homemade meals. That's why my weight was just, plummeting. It was 182. But when you come back to Portland, if you're from Portland, Portland is a foodie place. They have all types of foods that you could ever want. And actually living out here in Gresham, I have a Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, Wingstop, Sherry's, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Arby's. Everything is literally right down that road and out over there, within a 5-minute driving distance. So I went from 182 to, I believe, I want to say 218 or 220. So I got fat again. I didn't stop lifting, so technically you could call it a dirty bulk, I guess you want to say. I mean, I was not paying attention to anything I was eating. I was just eating a lot of food and enjoying my life while I was back here. I got fat again. So I moved from here to Central Washington, which is, if you're from that area, you kind of know Yakima, about an hour and a half from Seattle, but it's literally smack dab right in the middle of Washington. That's why it's called Central Washington. That out there, another place, barely any food. So when I moved out there, still same thing, going to Anytime Fitness, consistently lifting all the time. And my diet actually got 10 times better. Living out there, I was always cooking homemade meals, nasty ass homemade meals, but it was getting the job done. And about 2 months into living out there, I decided, you know, I want to take this actually serious. I want to make this something that I can do. I want to compete in bodybuilding. I want to actually do it. So I found my coach on TikTok, hired a coach, and I've had a coach ever since then. It's been a little over a year. I believe March was our 1 year together. So March, you know, April, May, June, July. I think it's been about a year and 3 or 4 months. And again, just consistently working out, going to Anytime Fitness. I've had a scheduled meal plan for about a year and a half. It gets tiring, but it's definitely better than where I started, you know, starving myself. I actually get to eat food and not be hungry and still losing weight. And he's gotten me right before. He got me from, I believe I was 203 to about 170. I was really lean. If you guys follow me on TikTok, I have a couple of videos from back at that time when I weighed 172, I think, was the lowest. And he's always been good to me. So I appreciate him helping me out through the journey and everything. And now we are on the journey of getting big, bulk mode, getting ready to compete, hopefully, you know, mid 2024, probably shooting around that June time, maybe July, same time as now, but next year, you know, give us a solid year of putting on more muscle and then cut down. A bad thing about my body is I hold a lot of weight in my midsection. So it's going to be a 20-week cut, which is like the longest cut that you usually do. So that's going to be difficult, but I am looking forward to pushing myself. And I think I can do it because I've done like a lot harder things with my diet. I remember sitting down and looking at like 5 ounces of chicken and just sitting over it and just crying because I was like, bro, I do not want to eat this like at all. Like, there's nothing inside of me that wants to eat this dry ass 5 ounces of chicken when I could be going to Taco Bell or I could be doing this or doing that. And it definitely takes a lot of discipline, and you got to really want it, and you got to, you know, see. It's good to live in the now, but you got to know, like, okay, what I'm doing right now is going to benefit myself in the future, and you got to take care of your future self because, you know, as people say, health is wealth. And, you know, if you want to achieve your goals, you got to do shit now so that you don't have to do it later. So I know I was probably talking a lot. I just kind of wanted to introduce myself, talk about my fitness journey, talk about my life growing up. You know, a lot of people don't know that much about me. I show my personality a little bit on the channel, but I've never really sat down and talked about it. So I'm hoping to do more videos like this. If you guys want to leave like a comment with questions, I'm down to talk about relationships. I've been through a lot of relationships. I'm down to talk about work. I'm down to talk about moving different states. I've done that. Talk about being in debt, actually having money, being poor, growing up poor, you know, coming to money. This dude's sorry, a really loud car went by. But yeah, if you guys just leave questions down below, I would love to talk about them. Next episode, maybe do something about relationships and dealing with heartbreak or something like that. I've been in a lot of relationships, so I could definitely help people out with that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. It's a really long video. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these. Again, it's going to be called Shane's Psyche, and then whatever the topic is going to be. I will probably be uploading once a week, one of these, along with still the gym content and whatever other content I make. It's kind of hard right now just because I'm focusing so much on going to the gym that I'm not really, traveling or doing fun things. I'm just, wake up, eat, go to the gym, eat, go to sleep. So I think this will be a good median to separate that gym content and bring my personal life into it, and you guys will be able to see a lot more variety of things instead of just seeing me work out every single day. Another thing I'm probably going to do is upload my workout every single day. I know that's probably really hard, and the videos are going to be super basic, just no crazy thumbnail, no nothing, just every single day upload my workout so you guys can see what I'm doing, follow me through my journey, and show support and love if you want to. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.